Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. Now, as we get rolling here tonight, guys, there are some people, of course, we have to give the love, the appreciation, the shout-outs to before we kick off the last of the normal MCF streams this week.
We'll
because
be in Dallas tomorrow night at this time.
Heading to the Big D.
Hell yeah, we'll be there. MCF setting up, Big D. See our Cowboys defeat these Rams. By the way, if you're wondering what the Cowboys will be wearing, it's going to be that navy blue crew right there. Yeah, the navy blues versus their whites. They're gonna be the
I'm
whites,
happy about it because I love the navy blues.
Well, we're going to see it at home, yeah.
So, with that said, guys, of course, like I said, let me shout out the people.
Yeah, there was a takeover on the major boards, and you see him here front and center all over the place. SnugX.
Woo!
Much love to him. He's our sponsor of the week. And he's also got an 11-week streak here with us on the Cash App. You know why he's here. SnugX Cash App dominance for the last 11 weeks. He's 1 away from 3 months of dominance. And, 9 away from tying Jason Renfro's great record of 20 weeks in a row as a Cash App king. Right now, the leader in the Cash App and the stream boss, as you see with 26 Deron Bland points, it is none other than Jason Renfro. Much love to him. He is currently leading the Cash App right now. He dropped a dollar holler early today for the Go Cowboys and another Go Cowboys dollar drop pre-stream. Much love to Jason Renfro. He is currently still leading the Cash App board. And, of course, he's still got 26 points repping it on that stream boss. You look at the dominance don't stop there from SnugX and Jason Renfro, because Jason Renfro is also the gifting champion. So congrats to him. When it comes to the gifting memberships, that's one of the best ways to help out the channel and your fellow family members in the chat. So much love to Jason Renfro, the champ last week. He had 4. We already got 3 on it this week in the gifting side of things from Skeptical Fan, the man who always stays skeptical. Much love to him. He was not just he is first place in gifting, 3-0 against everyone else, but he's also, yesterday he was, the last couple of days, the overall leaderboard, the overall leader on our leaderboard there, coming for that sponsor of the week. But last night we had an amazing takeover by Amazing Games, who's currently in first place on that overall board. So I think I laid it all out, baby. I think we got everything caught up on that side of things. Let's remind everybody, us outside of the super chats and the gifting memberships, jumping in the membership, the thanks button, there's other ways you can try to catch someone like Jason Renfro, SnugX in the Cash App side. These are the 4 ways you can do that.
Of course, you have the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. You have the regular PayPal link, of course, and last but not least, that Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen, just like a super chat.
Hell yeah. Those are the ways you can do that. And baby, this week, we got to do the shout-outs, as we always do here. Well, this is a special person, the shout-outs that we have to give extra love to here in a moment. But first, let's shout out everybody, as we do in the nightly way here on our star level, over everything level, top shelf membership board. So, baby, without further ado, who are these special top level star and over everything members?
We have Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. Jason Renfro, much love. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog. Lincoln Kane from Australia. Mary Alvarez, West Coast representation. Andy Potch, much love. Marissa Sparkle, all the way from the Big D, right?
Yeah.
And the man himself, the Lunatic.
Oh, yeah. And the Lunatic, extra special shout-outs to him. Why, baby? Because it's a double jersey raffle. Yes, right here. And, last one we had was a little more like, you get one raffle, everyone's more even. This one, you can take control if you want to try to win one of these 2 fantastic jerseys. By the way, in case you're wondering, like the star level winner every month or over everything level winners. Every month we do those raffles for that top shelf membership. The same type of jerseys, guys. The ones you see us wearing and repping. We're going to be repping it in Dallas when we're walking around there, watching the game, going to
a variety of players, styles, sizes. So if you're repping an old school and you know we got you.
Yeah, so how the rules of this thing, 2 jerseys, 2 lucky winners. How do they win? How do they get a chance to win this?
Mr. MCF kind of said it. If you drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered. And, of course, bonus additional entries. How do you do that? You keep dropping. Every additional $10 is an additional bonus entry.
Now, what happens
so you can keep on stacking them.
Exactly. You have unlimited stackable entries. It doesn't mean you win. It just means you have a better chance to win. But there's also one other way of upping your chances, an extra little bonus to this. Well, membership has its privileges, right?
That's right. If you're an MCF member, you do get bonus entry. So
yeah, here you go, guys. Much love. Shout out to the Lunatic. have a feeling we might have another one or two of these throughout the year. So just keep it tuned in here.
Keep your eyes open, right?
Always much love to the Godfather, the lunatic of the entire cowboy, the cowboy world. He's all over the place. Much love to him. Hey, and good luck to the people in the raffle right now, which is not really packed right now. A lot of chances to win, and of course, there's going to be 2 lucky winners. So can't wait to see who are the big champions on that side of things. Now, on that note, it is time to shout out the people in the chat tonight. And who's repping it here with us on My Cowboys Family to talk about cowboy football?
We have SnugX representing.
Snug,
what's up?
The sponsor of the week, the Cash App King for 11 straight weeks in the house.
Cactus G in the place to be. C Bass, what's up? He said, I want to believe it, but I have strong doubts as far as the Cowboys, making a move here.
Oh, it's a trade deadline, right? Well, we always touch on that. There's only so much we can do is because the Cowboys ain't really going to do anything. We talked about.
Good way to sum up how we feel
Jerry
about the
Jones
Cowboys.
said it yesterday.
I want to believe, but I have strong doubts. Anyway, Asmodeus representing. What's up? Much love. Mike Aldana in the house. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, guys, we're very excited. Little G, Little J have never been to Dallas, so this is definitely
or to a Dallas game. To any NFL game, but it's got to be in Big D.
And of course, I think a very lovely way to celebrate, the big dirty 30. So obviously not a traditional maybe 30th birthday, but you know what? So far, I've been bringing the luck. So let's hope I stay consistent with that.
Listen, man, this has been a week and a half celebration of your birthday. So
I know. Well,
it's going to continue.
The reason I say that is just because remember we like every time we decide to do Dallas for something else, we always end up with good luck. That's all.
Yeah, I agree.
So let me shout out. Let's see. Bruce got the toxic juice. Cactus G in the place to be. What's up? Stephen White, much love to you. Kind of rolling back, of course, Jason Renfro in the house. Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical. Dallas creator. Go Cowboys. Let me see. Freedom First, I think, was first tonight. So there you go. Scorpio representing. What's up? Much love.
Oh, Freedom was not first. I went back and checked.
Not first. Cactus G was. Okay, sorry, I missed that little comment.
I think it was something before that.
I can't go back that far. So anyway, with that said, guys, of course, let me hand things off over to Mr. MCF so we can start talking Cowboys because now our Cowboys are actually doing some stuff worth talking about, right? They're back on the practice field. We actually got to see them a little bit today. So
yep. So we're gonna get rolling here and. Talk some NFL news. How about we start off with that? How about that? Of
course.
Well, we start off with the NFL news. And former Broncos pass rusher Frank Clark, who was released by the Broncos, kind of surprising there, expected to sign a 1-year deal now with the Seattle Seahawks. He formerly played with them, actually. He had several teams called, but he wanted to return where he started his career. So that's where Frank Clark took him there from the Chiefs. They tried to make a run at him. Steelers pulled him in. Other news in the NFL, the Titans currently preparing for rookie quarterback Will Levis to start on Sunday. Second-round quarterback pick here, making his debut. Sounds like he's going to make his debut. Tannehill has an ankle injury. He's likely out. And Coach Mike Vrabel said that both Levis and Malik Willis will be playing. So probably going to see Malik Willis, who, again, everyone's kind of saying, he's maybe the next guy up. But it was not. It's Will Levis. He's their future. And I hope I'm saying his name right. But also, it's going to be a double team there. They'll both be used in their, I guess, to their better of their skill set ways by Mike Vrabel. But Levis, the rookie, second-round pick, will be the primary quarterback in that game. Now, we talk about the Tennessee Titans. We talk about Derrick Henry and the trade situations, right? Like you guys, we discussed it here multiple times over. What's going on in the trade side of things? The Ravens are the leading, most interested team for Tennessee Titan running back Derrick Henry.
All right.
So it's not the Cowboys. That actually
kind of makes sense.
But again, here's the thing that doesn't make sense. It's basically, it's not a divisional game, but damn, it is like AFC. They're going to play. I don't know. It seems like a little bit too close to home, so we'll see how that goes. But they're just the quote-unquote most likely trade partner for, Derrick Henry with the Titans there. Now, I do want to kind of flip over to another big news here. And again, this kind of involves the Cowboys, but now there's been word that the Broncos are reportedly listening to trade offers about, quote, every player. Every player, which, again, we had heard no Patrick Surtain. Now, I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to get him. I'm just saying, this is the facts of the situation. The Broncos facing a 1-5, we have 1-5 start, right? So they win again? No, they have 1-5, I think, right? 1-5 start. They're not hitting the panic button, but according to a lot of people on the
sorry, they're 1-5 and they're not hitting the panic button. Jesus Christ!
Meaning like a fire sale, right? But even with all that, multiple people with the team said that they're open to listen to trade offers on every player. And the important thing, and this is from Athletics' Diana Rossini. She's pretty reliable for the most part. She said that if they move pieces, it will probably be on the defensive side of the ball, which is Patrick Surtain, right? That's the guy we're looking at. Of course, we know about Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, which are other guys we had talked about at receiver they might be trying to get rid of. But they're talking about every player. Sounds like it's hinting more to the defensive side that let everybody kind of be looked at. The Broncos, of course, we know Patrick Surtain. They also have safety. You guys have mentioned him. Justin Simmons as possible players that could be traded on that defensive side of things. And again, no names were mentioned now. Keep that in mind. Not saying Patrick Surtain or Justin Simmons are going to be out there and traded, but they said every player, the Broncos. And they said it's probably on the defensive side that we're looking maybe to move somebody. And those two names are the first ones that come up. That's plain and simple. And the Cowboys would be interested in probably either of those guys, especially Patrick Surtain. But how much you got to give up? You give up a third round for Surtain? I mean, they're going to ask for more than that. I mean, second rounder for Surtain?
Exactly. Like, I'm interested in owning a Ferrari. That doesn't mean it's actually going to happen.
The thing you have to remember, Surtain, if you get Patrick Surtain for it's going to be a first round pick. We're going to give up. You get Patrick Surtain for a first rounder, and I would do that. And guess what happens? You got to pay him next year. So you got to pay him big money. That's why they're trying to sell him off right now. So you got to pay him big. So keep that in mind, family. If you get Surtain, now you got to pay another guy on your payroll.
Yeah,
now,
and I can't see us making some kind of a big move for a 1-year loaner.
Well, again, if you get Surtain, Surtain's not here for 1 year. You give up first round pick and not for 1 year. So Amari Cooper situation, except you don't have that much time to play on that first year contract. Yep. You could extend it. You could listen. He's in his third year next year, like Micah Parsons, right? You can get paid now. We don't have to. We literally can have him this year. We can have him in his fourth year, in his fifth year. That's how far we can take that deal, right? We can have him for basically a year, 2.5 years. Is that worth it for a first rounder? Let me know. That's what we would get on a rookie contract through. He might sit out. He might hate it. He might not, when I see the best of him, he might not be a team player. There's a lot of things you open up if you bring in a Patrick Surtain and you're not really ready to sign him for a long-term top market deal. You got to pay another Trayvon Diggs deal.
I was going to say, call me a little ridiculous, but I feel almost somewhat similar to the way the Cowboys probably feel about the running back situation. Didn't we just spend a bunch of money at this position?
Yeah.
Do we want to turn around and then spend a crap ton of money on it again?
You don't want to do that at the running back spot because running backs aren't as worthwhile. But cornerbacks, you can never have too many overdone. You can never have an over a number. You can
never have too many
goddamn top tier. I'm telling you, Surtain and Diggs next year, and Bland in the slot. I mean, forget it. That's better than this season's duo of Stephon Gilmore. You got a guy who's Stephon Gilmore. When he was at his best, that's where Surtain is at right now. So I'm just saying, to me, Surtain is a top-notch guy.
G throwing out there, Surtain's going to cost way more than just first round pick.
I just said first rounder because that's going to take some people out of the running here. But yeah, we a first and a third, something like that for him. It could be like, say, this year's first and next year's third. I'm just saying it could be a lot of combinations. You could throw in there a player to maybe ease the hit. Maybe it's a fourth rounder instead. But again, it's a fire sale, so they're not going to get everything they want. Trust me. So even though whatever it's going to take to get Surtain, the money that they have to pay the player is what's going to bring his number down.
Yeah, hard to bargain when we know the house is being foreclosed on.
Exactly. We know that the money is going to be big when he gets in his hands, and we know the Denver Broncos don't want to pay it if they make the trade, right? So that's kind of the breakdown. It's a mind game, battle, chess battle, whatever. But look, it might happen. It might fucking happen, and we'll celebrate and talk about it then, and then talk about the ramifications of the money. Are we going to sign Dak? Are we going to, that's the big question, is Dak in my mind at that point if you bring in Surtain. So whatever it is, we had to figure.
I love the different reactions to the chat here because we're
just kicking the shit around.
Whatever the cost is, just go get him. Go get him.
Like Surtain,
if he's available,
that would make us probably an elite defense again when we had Diggs. Basically, he's a Diggs replacement. I mean, that's not a Gilmore replacing Diggs. That's a Surtain, truly a Diggs replacing Diggs kind of situation. So it is a great player. I hope we get a good deal for him, and I hope the future money that's going to be supposedly asked of him, asked from him, is something that maybe brings him, instead of a first and a second rounder, go to a first and a third, first and a fourth, and you maybe throw in a fucking Michael Gallup and save some money there. I don't know. I'm just Dorrance Armstrong, you save $6 million there. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, sorry, I gotta hit up the chat. You guys are cracking me up. So, because Revelation journalist said Jerry and Steven be like, y'all gotta beg me to trade with the star.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do it.
Oh, and you know what? Even in this case, I feel like that's absolutely what the Joneses want. That's you got to definitely kiss some major ass to get any kind of trade going in Dallas.
Especially if they got Randy Gregory under our nose, under these two guys' nose.
And
now
Thomas
they're going to be
Garrett, the superior Garrett. Brandon Shea, what's up? Again, if the Chiefs get Jerry Jeudy, that's, even more firepower for them, right?
Well, again,
but yeah,
everybody available
you can obviously
there.
see it, and the Denver's just giving everything away to everyone.
It sounded like who was?
Daniel Berry Sports, what's up? Mike Aldana, much love. And that is the slightly frustrating thing about some of these discussions. Right, we were talking about Patrick Surtain. We want it to be even somewhat of a real possibility, but then you turn around and hear the Eagles making all sorts of moves.
Yeah, Kevin Byard is like getting Justin Simmons.
Yeah, it's hard not to feel a little bit disappointed, especially because, again, Cowboys can say whatever they want about the freaking cap, right? Yeah. But last time I checked, all these other NFL teams have the same overall cap numbers. And we have even more money than all of them.
You know what's crazy? And Brian Broaddus said this today, I think on his show or something like this, is that Brian Broaddus said the fans don't give a fuck anymore about the cap shit. Like, you're going to sell the cap like it's the players taking the money. Like, the fans don't give a damn. They just want to win. Fans want to win, and Jerry Jones not giving that. The Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones are saying the cap. Hate the players because they want so much money instead of let's win, which is what the fucking Eagles are doing.
That's
what Roseman does.
Personal money,
exactly.
Although I guess since you own the team and you're all up in their business,
it's not just that though. It's not his. He's got an allotted amount that he has to pay this year, next year. He's acting like he has to pay so many different players. It's bullshit because we get these guys, we draft these guys, and he's supposed to replace them and for cheap, and then we don't sign half these guys back. So you're still playing the same game. You got to draft every single guy. The Joneses are skewed in their way of thinking. It's not worked for 27 years, plus years. And they're still, and I'm not saying it's a fail-safe if you do trade or make a move, but my point is, I mean, you're going to be doing a good job. Look at these two guys with Joey Galloway. They failed there. They failed with Roy Williams, the receiver. A lot of failed dumb trades, so you don't want to give up the house, but
Part of it is in the trying. It just
I agree. You got to show
the
effort.
Cowboys are trying at the same level that some of these serious contending teams are. You can maybe say we try in the draft, and for sure, I'll give you that one, just because that's
their bread and butter.
Bread and butter, yep. Right? And even in the off season, you can't even say that they didn't try, because like we've said repeatedly, we were fans of the off season moves that the Cowboys made, like about 95% of them. So it seemed like we were in the right direction, but this final freaking little piece here, we have yet to see. And the only time we did see it was in an Amari Cooper situation, which we weren't seeing some of the other things that we're seeing now. Right. So it still feels like we're a day late and a dollar short to the actual hard-hitting moves that made Super Bowl or championship teams.
We don't have that DNA in us right now. Why? Because, when we had it, Jimmy Johnson was running the show. Except for that last Super Bowl, which was Jimmy Johnson's team. So you got to have people that know football and don't worry about the money as much. These guys, they use the money so you can hate the player and then expect the player to then perform perfectly under maybe inaccurate and bad schemes or people around those guys.
And that's why I brought up the fact that, for Jerry, it does feel like it's his money because he owns the team and he's the GM. So it is a little more personal than just, the owner owning the team, kind of just being the owner, or the GM being the GM managing the team.
Your point is 100%.
Confluence of those two things.
Baby, you make a great point, because that in itself is the reason that you could say it's because we made bad moves, this and that. It's because Jerry Jones is the GM. That's what you're saying, baby. It's his money. He's too attached to it. It's the pie. It all matters to this GM. Not to Harry Roseman. Howie Roseman is over there saying, I'm playing with the money they're giving me, and I'm going to do my best with it. And they do the best with it. We're doing something else. Yeah. This team is being run by Jerry Jones
said it.
With Stephen Jones' influence.
Jerry would rather lose his way than win someone else's way.
Yep, I agree.
Jimmy Johnson exists.
Exactly. Thank you. Who said that? There's a prize right there for Seabass. Yeah, that is 100% true. That is this front office's MO. And they say they will do anything to win. Jerry Jones said, I'll do anything to win. No, but he won't do that. And that's the thing. He will not give a real GM in there to run the show.
That's me also fully acknowledging that if I was in Jerry's position, like doing what Jerry's doing, I'd probably have Jerry's mindset. Right?
Yeah,
I know I would not be able to separate myself from the team in that way.
You can, Jerry could be involved more as an owner, like a normal owner would be, right? And some owners are just a little bit involved, some are more involved. He don't have to be the GM, and that's the problem with him. GM, it's his arrogance that holds his team back.
It's so funny too.
It's not Dak Prescott.
I actually think that I've never seen more owners involved in a general sense. Like, especially if you watch that show about the draft this year. I've never seen owners so involved in so many of, like, the little intricacies and inside stuff. Like, I feel like owners tend to be a lot more of, like, they'll come by, they'll shake the hands, they'll smile and wave, but then they're just kind of over there doing their thing. So, Jerry's definitely sparked, I think a wave of more active ownership. I know, but he doesn't inspire any more GM.
But the smart owners, how many owners out there have truly been fully involved and won a Super Bowl? Not many, if any. Just being real. Jerry Jones did it because it was Jimmy Johnson's team, and he took over the GM title. That team was built, the coaches were there, et cetera, in the 90s. So Jerry Jones never, there's not many owners that are this involved that win Super Bowls because they don't know shit about football. His arrogance keeps him thinking he knows what to do best and how to manage the money. It becomes his focal point, and the fans are like, fuck that. Give us some wins already. We're done with this whole blaming this player, blaming Dak because everybody else is getting $50 million. They got worse guys, and we're still not able to pay people, and they are. That's some bullshit right there. And that's the Jerry Jones. We've been saying this for years here. Let's be honest. I mean, you guys clap for us here because we do. We've been saying this for years and years. That's why we're like, we're not too mad about the trading situations and the offseason bullshit.
We've been knowing the pie is a lie. There's a reason we've said it for so long, even if now they're trying to make you think the pie was a cheesecake all along or whoever knows. And
it's funny, we have our shirts, of course, out there, but 5 is greater than 1, the deal. But in the reality of this thing, when you look at our Pie's the Lie shirt, I mean, it's been around for 3 years we've had this. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this. The money pie is a lie. The cap pie is a lie. They say we got to worry about the pie. There's only so much pie to go around. But that's a fucking lie. It's a lie, and these two fuckers know it. It's just that they use that as an excuse to make whatever moves they want and make it seem it's about the money. And a lot of people get sucked into that and say, oh, yeah, it's about the money. Blame Dak. It ain't Dak. Other guys are getting paid more money that are worse than Dak, and they're still winning. They're still, they're still moving up, making moves for players. Look at the Eagles. Just saying. It's one example of many that are still out there, trickling around out there, and we could take it to the next level. We keep getting held back because of these schmucks. Both of these schmucks. Anyways, I'm done talking about this.
I know. Let's kind of keep it rolling,
move it back?
Right?
I mean, if you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm born ready.
The chat's good?
Just, a few comments here. Mike Adana saying, Jerry's intentionally going against the grain. He's going against the grain, intentionally pissing off the fan base. It does feel that way.
Well, he wants to make it his own. Yeah.
But, yeah, that's the point. Excuse me. He just wants to make sure that everything that happens within that building has his name, his approval, and his mark of ownership on it. He wants you to know that it was him who got it done.
Yeah, he's the one that his name is attached to it. He makes the move. It looks nice. Now look,
when we fail, now it's a we. Oh, now we need to do better, right? But when things go good, ooh, I did that.
So when things are not good, you hear comments from the front office like, well, Dak Prescott, we have to manage his money coming up, and implying that we can't make moves because of Dak. And that's bullshit because other teams do it. And it's not because, again, a guy is getting $40 or $50 million.
Yep.
It's doable. So anyways, moving back into the NFL thing here, guys. The Jaguars quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, today said he expects to be wearing a left knee brace again on Sunday against the Steelers. He noted that it was a little uncomfortable playing with it last Thursday, but it did not impact his performance, according to him, when they beat the Saints. And finally, one last NFL piece of news here, baby. Brock Purdy. Crazy situation. The Niners are going through some injury shit right now. And he's now listed as, or being told by Kyle Shanahan that he's unlikely to play Sunday versus the Bengals. Bengals getting hungry. Come on, Bengals, beat them. And again, the reason it's unlikely, no NFL player that was placed into concussion protocol this season, he was put in concussion protocol, guys. No player that put into a concussion protocol this season has played that same week. So that it's going to take too long for him to get back on the field. The last player to be in concussion protocol who played in the same week was in 2022, when Kenny Pickett had a concussion in Week 6 and was cleared to play before Week 7. He got to play. But you know what play Brock Purdy got hurt in? It's crazy. The Eagles, they got to be.
Was it the tush push?
The tush push. The Eagles got to be like there's a conspiracy here.
Eagles are out there putting brujeria on all the other teams. That's why, one, so many other teams can't successfully pull off a tush push. And two, now we got Purdy getting hurt.
Well, Purdy, that's where he got hurt. And again, the guy who hurt him was Jordan Hicks, who was the guy I'm talking about. I'm not saying it had anything to do with it, but he was a heads-up play stopping a tush push play. And he smashed him in the head, but it wasn't done on purpose. So the Brock Purdy play where he got hurt, it looked like it was fourth and inches or third and inch. I don't know, it was a short yardage thing. They pushed forward. He didn't make it at first. He tried to kind of leap over at the same time that Jordan Hicks was leaping over and smashed into his helmet and kind of went sideways on it. And after the concussion, if that's where the play happened, if it happened on that play for Brock Purdy, after that, listen to what happened to him. He only was 2 of 6 the rest of the game. He only had 20 yards passing. And by the way, he had 2 interceptions. So I'm not saying concussion has caused these interceptions, but he was definitely didn't seem like his usual self there. He went 19 for 24 for 252 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions before the tush push concussion issue that Purdy had. So another interesting fact about concussions, over the last few years, about 25% of players who suffer concussion will return to play the following week. It hasn't happened this year yet, but when a game is 6 or 7 days away, there's a 25% chance you get back in the game. Excuse me. So far, a lot of players have returned to games, but it's passing the protocol. It's dependent on passing the protocol. It's not time dependent. There's not a number of days.
So it's not like there's like a specific time limit that has to be accomplished. It's just a matter of like actually going through each step and clearing it, so to speak. So for some people that could take, like you say, up to a week. Let's just to give an example. For some people, maybe that's like 2 or 3. Like, concussions are dangerous and tricky things. Yeah. So, and especially now that the NFL is being like extra careful about it, they're not just going to throw in a guy that's not good to go.
Yeah, and again, remember,
that's on their ass now.
1 out of 4 guys will get back out in that field a week later. So Purdy he's in a little bit of trouble. About 75% chance he's not going to play. We got to see how the week continues. Hopefully he's going to be okay to roll out there. But maybe,
No, I'm just saying, I do think it is interesting, though, because Mike said it, with no timetable, like, usually certain positions do get a little bit of special circumstances. It does seem like QB would be one of those. So
Yeah. So, again, sorry. Quarterback is going to be a situation where it could cost the Niners a third straight game if Purdy's not out in the field, and if he's not 100%, that could also be detrimental to the Niners. Again, I want them to lose, but I hope they have all their guys in there and lose fair and square. Now, our game coming up this week, baby, we have the Los Angeles Rams, and we're going to be at the game. You, me, the kids, we're all going to be there first time ever for a family trip like this. The Cowboys at halftime, we're going to see something that's maybe been done 18 times in Cowboys history. We're going to be there for this, baby, and I'm very happy, live in full effect. The Cowboys are inducting the great DeMarcus Ware into the Dallas Cowboys Ring of Honor. No Jimmy Johnson, which is my issue, but all right, I love DeMarcus Ware. It's going to be during a halftime ceremony, baby, so it's not going to be on TV. We're going to be there full, front and center watching this induction, a very rare occurrence. Again, I'll explain this in a minute because first and foremost, DeMarcus Ware becomes the Cowboys' 23rd inductee around that stadium, around the Ring of Honor. But a couple of these guys, like Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, these 3 guys were inducted all on the same day in 2005. I think they were the same day in 2005. A lot of these guys, these were not done it was like sometimes they were done in a group when they inducted 2 guys at a time.
Individually.
Yeah, of course, right? Like this is individually. So when you look at this, guys, the Cowboys Ring of Honor members, in the year they were enshrined, Aikman in 2005, Larry Allen in 2011, Gil Brandt was, I think, our newest inductee, by the way. Of course, now it'll be DeMarcus Ware. But Gil Brandt was inducted in 2018, Dorsett in 94, Haley in 2011, Cliff Harris in 2004, Bob Hayes in 2001, Chuck Howley in 1977, Michael Irvin 2005. Again, like I said, with Aikman and Emmitt Smith 2005, Leroy Jordan in 89, Tom Landry in 93, Bob Lilly in 1975, Don Meredith I guess Bob Lilly was our first inductee. Don Meredith was our second, our first quarterback, 1976. Drew Pearson in 2011. You have Don Perkins in 1976. Mel Renfro in 1981. Tex Schramm in 2003. Of course, Emmett in 2005. Roger Staubach in 1983. DeMarcus Ware now is going to be on that board, maybe when we're there, live and in full effect. Something rare to see if you're at that game. DeMarcus Ware in 2023. Randy White in 94. Darren Woodson in 2015. And Ray Field Wright in 2004. Baby, you, the kids, myself, we're going to be witnessing history right there in front of our faces. I love it, love it, love it. And that's not the only records we might like. That's a record. That's a historic situation, right?
Yeah, and that's just
the history that's
happened in the past. I mean,
it's gonna be a big part of this trip.
I can't believe that out of all the players, it's actually
DeMarcus Ware.
I'm not trying to like talk down to other players either. I'm just saying that it does
or coaches like Jimmy.
Exactly, nothing like that. It's more about the fact that because it is DeMarcus Ware, it does feel. For me, extra special because DeMarcus Ware was a name that, even before I was a hardcore football fan, you knew. I was like, I know vaguely who DeMarcus Ware is. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of name that rings out. So
across a lot of platforms, right?
Oh, you like my little wire reference there?
Rings out.
So his name rings out.
Well, yes.
Sorry, I figured you'd catch that. So, but like you said, that's not the only maybe possible history that's going to be happening.
Listen,
right?
Baby, we might be a historic game, not just for DeMarcus Ware, which already makes it historic, but there's going to be some records that might fall for NFL and the Dallas Cowboys. Let me start with this guy, CeeDee Lamb. Coming off a great game. CeeDee Lamb could now be one up on someone like Michael Irvin and someone like Des Bryant. Literally in this game we're going to watch, baby. Let me explain. CeeDee Lamb is chasing his career catch number 300 when we're going to be at that game on Sunday against the Rams. And again, it will be, of course, at home against the Rams in Week 8 if he's able to do it. He has a unique chance to basically cement himself into Cowboy franchise history and potentially in the future be up one on guys like I said, Michael Irvin, Des Bryant, Drew Pearson, all the 88s, So he's got a long way, trust me, before he gets anywhere there for CeeDee Lamb, but he's on his way, right? He can get a little bit of the, a step in that direction. Why? He needs only 6 catches, guys. Now, that's not easy, but if CeeDee Lamb gets 8 receptions in this game, now it can't be a sweep or a run, or it's got to be a catch. It can't be behind the line of scrimmage. If he gets 6 legal receptions in this game, he's gonna basically be the first. I think the fastest Cowboy to reach 300 career receptions. He would do it if he does it this game. He'll do it in 56 games. That'll be a record, a team record. Now it's not an NFL historic record, but it's a Cowboy historic record, which is fantastic. Again, 6 catches against the Rams. He'll reach 300 career receptions. The fastest Cowboy to ever do that. If he's doing this in this game here, baby. So, hey, we're going to keep track of how many catches he has. And again, when he hits the 6th, boom, record broken. He would also become the Cowboys' 17th wide receiver. 17th since 2000. So it's not, not that great. But he'd be the 17th guy to surpass 300 career catches in 56 games. So, and I'm talking about in the NFL, not for the Cowboys. So he'd be the top 17th in the NFL when it comes to getting this done so fast. But there's another record he can break. And it's going to be a lot tougher. He can get to 4,000 career yards. And, I'm saying that'd be great. If he can get to 4,000 in this game, he would need, if he gets 6 catches, he can get to 129. 129 yards, let's keep these names in our head, these numbers in our head. But 129 yards for CeeDee Lamb, he would reach 4,000 career yards receiving. But Bullet Bob Hayes, guys, of course, beat him in that. He did it in 52 games. CeeDee Lamb would do it in 56 games, right? So Lamb would be the second fastest receiver in our franchise history, Cowboy history, to reach 4,000 yards, that fast. Second best behind the fastest, Bullet Bob Hayes. And then, of course, like I said, he gets 6 catches, 300 catches for his career. He'll be the best, the guy who reached at that mark before Des Bryant, before Michael Irvin, before Drew Pearson, on and on and on, before everybody. Our best receiver, he's number 1 if he can get 6 catches. And he'll need 129 yards to be number 2 in our history. So CeeDee Lamb, I don't know what you think about that, baby, but I'm excited to see history possibly made right in front of our faces.
More than excited, especially just because, again, it feels like our receiving situation has been so up and down recently. Like, this feels like not just a huge win for the position and just our offense, but like a nice little feather in a cap to who is about to be our, number one receiver for the next few years to come. And if he's not, then I have bigger questions. Why'd you give him the 88, Jay?
Yeah.
So yes,
everything looks good there.
Always a good time when we're talking good things about CeeDee Lamb. And I really do hope he gets to make his kind of mark on Cowboys history, right?
Yep.
With that little notch on his belt. So,
yep.
Oh yeah, Cactus G. That's an easy way to get spoiled, right? It's starting with dessert instead of dinner. So, anyway, kind of rolling back to you, Hector Colon. What's up? Much love to you. By the way, guys, real quick, huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us. Take a second to hit like. One of the simplest, easiest ways you guys can help show the love here. Of course, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord. And an extra special shout out to the sponsor of the week, Cash App King. Snug X, you already know, and Jason Renfro somehow still holding on to 26 points in the Stream Boss. Also, the gifted membership king, none other than Jason Renfro himself. Shout out to him, of course. So, thank you so much, Jason, representing on both sides of that
Jason's also leading currently by a little bit, of course. There's a couple bucks in there. Jason Renfro's the leader of the Cash App side of things. And Skeptical Fan, second place on the overall board, but first place when it comes to the gifting board. Currently gifting 3 memberships to family members. Appreciate you. Drop those emojis, guys, if you have them, especially those new Rams, the anti-Ram emojis. And then, yes, the overall leader, the man currently in control, is Amazing Games. Much love to him. He's currently in first place, trying to get that sponsor of the week. Now, as we roll on here again, by the way, we didn't even mention the lunatic and his special situation.
Of course, guys, we do. I mean,
yeah.
Kind of. It's all right. We're bouncing things back and forth. But yes, guys, we have this awesome jersey raffle going on right now. Actually, technically 2 of them because we have 2 jerseys up for gifting. There we go. Calvin Richards, he's halfway into an entry there with a $5 holiday.
He had 3 the other night, so he's at the 8. So he's 2 away from getting in the raffle.
I spoke too soon. Thank you, Calvin. Appreciate you. Much love. And with that $5 holiday, you know what he said?
Let me know. What did he say?
The Cowboys have got to get Cooks going in this offense. We've seen, bits and pieces, right? It's highly inconsistent, and it at least is overall trending in the right direction. But, yeah, like I said, I was really excited about the offseason moves. Cooks has been somewhat of a disappointment. I mean, the good thing is he's helped. Is it the
usage or is it that he stinks? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
I don't think it's necessarily all him, right? I do think it's him a tiny bit. I do think scheme is the bigger part of it. So, just throwing that out there.
Calvin Richard, much love. He's in 5th place on the board. Jason Renfro goes to a Stephon Gilmore. 21 points on the stream ball. Still hanging on. Much love, Calvin. Appreciate you. And like I said, he's 2 away from officially being in the raffle. And again, you can still stack, throughout the week, you can still stack more raffle entries, But when you hit that every 10, you get another raffle entry. It ups your chances to win one of the 2 jerseys. And of course, unlimited entries, so that's, again, stackable. You get a bonus entry on top of that if you're in the membership. Navy, blue, silver, star, or over everything. Big shout out to the man making this happen. Der Lunatic. Can't do this without you, brother. So much love, and just great to see him giving back to the channel and to the family here that are watching us on the nightly.
So, let me see here. Bob.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, I was just saying anything on the CeeDee Lamb kind of historic stuff, because we're going to move on to something in a minute here. CeeDee Lamb right here in our Color Rush.
No, let's go ahead and kind of keep it rolling then.
Yeah. So, as we keep it going, and, by the way, I just want to say one last thing. Calvin Richard, in his comment about Cooks, I agree with what you were saying. I think that it's been disappointing a bit for him, but it's about McCarthy. This, like you said, the scheme. It's about, having him in tune with Dak a little more in this scheme. I think we'll see better Brandon Cooks as the season goes on. Let me put it that way. Now, we talked about the offense for a second, the record-breaking possibilities for the franchise, right? Cowboy records. When it comes to CeeDee Lamb, what about in the special teams side, baby? I mean, we might actually see an NFL record on the historic side when it comes to special teams.
Not just a Cowboy record.
No, of course, Cowboy records, we always love that.
That's the point. Those are obviously a little bit more personal, right? But NFL records, football records, I mean, that's something the entire league has to stand up and take notice of, you know? So it's a little different.
So, when you look at the kicking side, Maher last year, this year, Brandon Aubrey, having a historic start, as we know, to his career, approaching a potential NFL record. He has 16 field goals currently to start his career. It's 2 away from the all-time record. All-time record. Most field goals made to start an NFL career. In 2015, Travis Coons hit 18 of his first, in field goals. And in 2014, Chandler Catanzaro hit 17 of 17 to kick off his career. And Kai Forbath, old Cowboy there for a little bit, in 2012, also hits his first 17 field goals. Now, of course, after that is Brandon Aubrey with 16, right? If Brandon Aubrey, if he's able to make the next 2 field goals, without missing a field goal, he will tie the record that existed for almost 8 years. Travis Coons set it in November of 2015, and of course, guys, if he gets the third one, let's say if you kick a third one, he misses it. That's it. The record's over.
Yep.
But if he kicks 2 in a row and he makes 2 field goals in a row, back to back in this game against the Rams, he ties the all-time record. If he makes 3 field goals without missing any of them back to back to back, be the first time in history we've seen that since the Super Bowl era, and that would be, say, we would be at that game. So that would be a historic thing to kind of observe and see, especially with you, baby, loving the kicker situation.
Well, hey, he never missed again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the fact that you are a very big fan of the kicking situation since the Dan Bailey days. I was
just about to say, if he somehow sets this record while I'm physically there, I mean, at this point, guys, I'm going to have to get, my next jersey is going to have to be a Brandon Aubrey jersey.
You have to get that customized.
Oh, yeah. So, sorry, I had to.
Well, hey, if we're at this game, we're all going to, again, we want touchdowns, right? And that's the thing, kind of the issue here. First and foremost, Aubrey is the only kicker in the Super Bowl era to attempt at least 16 field goals in his first 6 career games. He has 6 games only. That's a record already. He's kicked more than most guys. So the point I'm trying to say is that, again, of course, made all of them, but to have these many field goal opportunities in such a short amount of games is not good for the offense, for the team trying to score points, So, but it's not Aubrey's fault, and he's knocking those through as far as field goals. He only missed the 1 kick, which is an extra point, but that doesn't count for this record. That only counts for, extra points or all kicks. As far as first field goals made, this is the record he's shooting for. He's kicking for, so to speak. And by the way, Brandon Aubrey also today actually spoke, and it was kind of speaking with the media a little bit. Rookie kicker Brandon Aubrey said that his personal best inside the Star facility, indoors there, 68 yards. So, again, has a little bit of a leg there, unexpected. Almost 70 yards he's kicking it indoors. And on the outside field, and there's a very known wind tunnel on the outside fields when you're kicking the ball. It's 55 yards. It's still his best even with the wind. So, solid kicking, 55 yards and in. Again, guys, we didn't think he had the leg to do it. He did some preseason stuff there, like not preseason, but like his own videos, kicking from 60 yards, 70 yards, whatever it was. We want to see it in games. He was having a rough start in training camp. Now he's knocking them all in. Again, I don't want to see him kick a 68-yard field goal in a game and break his fucking streak. And I think a 68-yard field goal is stupid to kick because, now you're gonna, if you miss it, and you probably will, they get the ball on our 35-yard line. That's just a fucking onside kick that failed. That's stupid. So the Cowboys have to be smart about it. Look, if it's the end of a game and he hasn't kicked any field goals and we have to kick a 68-yarder to try to tie it or win it, you got to do what you got to do by record. But, just saying to me, just trying to go gung-ho from 60 yards just to do it is kind of stupid, no matter what kicker you have. Maybe other than Justin Tucker. But outside of that, that's what it feels like to me. So anyways, baby. Any thoughts about, final thoughts on these records that could fall when we're there live in effect? We're going to see DeMarcus Ware getting inducted in the Ring of Honor. Can we see CeeDee Lamb get 6 catches and 129 yards or more? That'll break break a record for the team, and it'll be second in history when it comes to another record with the yardage. And then if Brandon Aubrey knocks in 3 field goals without missing any, if he misses the 4th one, that's fine. He knocks in those first 3. Historic level of record-breaking situations when it comes to kickers, special teams, and Brandon Aubrey, who would be the best kicker, the best start for a kicker kicking field goals in the history of the NFL. He has to hit 3 of them. 2 of them ties at 3, takes him over without missing.
Thomas Garrett throwing out there, aren't you glad that he didn't attempt that 66-yard field goal against New England a few weeks ago?
Again, it would have been nice to him to see if he could make it, but now this record's intact. It would have sucked to have to waste it on that. I agree. That is funny. I remember thinking about that when he was about to kick it. Cowboys going to do this one time this year. I just hope it's not the next 3 kicks.
So, let me see.
Especially for our game.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be at it.
Kind of rolling back a tiny bit here, Mike Aldana said, not many teams can say they had an Olympic gold medal winner on their squad.
That's Bob. That's Bob, Bob Hayes. Yes, Bullet Bob Hayes.
So, and yes, Thomas, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to see you at the game. Guys, in case you didn't know, yes, Mr. MCF, myself, and the fam are going to be going down to the Big D to catch Little G and Little J's first Dallas Cowboy game.
Yep, live in full effect. We're going to be there. We're going to go do the tours on Saturday. We're going to check out the whole city of Dallas on Friday. It's going to be a 3-day immersing trip for the kids, for us, but for the kids mainly. We've been there, done a lot of things there in Dallas. Immersing trip for them. Getting their first experience in Dallas, their first experience in an NFL football game, their first experience repping the Cowboys live and in full effect. That's the key here. All those things, all those dominoes going down. And then you get the historic kind of flavor, the on the field flavor when it comes to, the tours at the stadium, AT&T, the tour at the Star. You never know, you might see a player walking by. It'll be a really cool experience for us and for the kids. And we're all looking forward to this fantastic little trip. And, really made and helped by MCF and, all the love you guys are here doing. Like I said, all these things get put back into, doing things like that. So we're going to be road tripping it a lot here in the sense of, video. It's going to be, most of it. Sometimes we'll have a video or two the next couple of days that'll be like this. But most of them are going to be, kind of on the fly. We might have 2 or 3 in a day. Mm-hmm. You got, if you want to make a run at the top board, you got to make your drops during those streams. So keep that in mind, family, when we're out live and doing our thing, whether it's a tour, whether it's at the game, whether it's videos we upload. Stay tuned. It's going to be a fun 4 or 5 days here coming up. But it's going to be like I said, it's a little different. Today we're going to break down the last part of the matchups, which is our offense versus their defense. But we'll get to that soon, baby. We're almost there. Any other comments before we keep it rolling?
Let me see. Rolando Rodriguez, the Jimmy Johnson curse is definitely, I think, at least a little real. Thomas Garrett saying, the kids are going to love it. You need to go to Texas Live when you get the chance. Yeah,
that's going to be probably done after the game. We go out there to Texas Live, We've done that a couple times already after the games.
Yeah.
This will be an early game, so our first early game this early, I think, right? So we're going to.
I think so, yeah.
So we're going to be able to get out there by like 4 o'clock. We'll be rocking out there. We'll be walking and chilling out there as well. So can't wait. But hopefully it's after a win, right? We don't want to go out there and have to mope about a loss.
So, anyway, shout out to you, Gerald. Appreciate that. Back to you, baby.
So injuries. The injury reports, injury thoughts, and Mike McCarthy is talking. First and foremost, Trayvon Diggs. We saw him on Instagram Live. He was at the hospital having surgery. He underwent surgery officially on his torn ACL. Doctors discovered that all of Diggs' other ligaments were intact.
Awesome. That is huge news. Yeah. Very positive. And it sounds like waiting to have the surgery might have also done him some good.
Yeah, strengthening. Not with the ligaments, but with the strengthening in this time frame. He's been strengthening his muscles around the ligaments, so that's going to help his return. And all expectations are he's going to be easily expected to be back and return for the 2024 season. So that's the great news there, continuing on an unfortunate situation for Trayvon Diggs. Now, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, of course, had his press conference today. So let me pop up the bubble man here in Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, you don't want to pop the bubble, do you?
So Mike McCarthy said on the players on the 53-man roster, quote, everyone is going to do something today, meaning that every player on our 53-man roster will be active in some way on the field and practice today. And basically saying that this was a healthy team, really a very all-around healthy team in his first practice following the bye week. So good news there. This off week didn't have any repercussions. What about the injury? The guys that were injured last time, the only guys, there's only one guy who was really banged up that we had kind of he didn't play last game, and that was Wanye Thomas. McCarthy said that Wanye Thomas with the hamstring will be back at practice after missing Week 6 against the Chargers. So Wanye Thomas, full participant supposedly in today's practice, according to McCarthy. And again, if that's the case, if that was the case today, which I'll go through in a minute, that means everyone on the active roster would be on a full participation kind of workload today, which would be great going forward with this team. This team is very healthy after a very important and needed bye week. So, McCarthy also asked about Jeff Blasco, who's the Cowboys running backs coach. And remember, guys, you remember what happened to him? He was not able to be with the team for multiple weeks, about 2 months. And the running back coach and the run game coordinator. I mean, that's why we've been having a shitty running game here. But he did rejoin the team during the bye week. So over the bye week, he's been put back into the mix of things. You know, I'm sure anything he needs to catch up on or fix or tweak, he's been involved with this last week over the bye week. So that's good news there, guys. According to McCarthy, quote, we're back to full strength. And he's talking about players and coaches, which is great. Again, Blasco missed the first 6 games because of a, quote, personal medical leave of absence. So hopefully everything's all right now with him. The running back coach responsibilities have been shared by a couple of the offensive coaches right now. That's what's been going on for 6 weeks. But it has nothing to do with utilization through these 6 games. So not necessarily going to expect something different now that Jeff Blasco's back. Don't expect much change to the way the run game is going. It's not like he's been a missing piece to like figure things out. It's more like Soliari, the offensive line coach, Schottenheimer, and McCarthy. They're the ones really working to retweak this thing. Blasco back in the mix can take those duties away and help other guys concentrate on the offensive coaching side. Other guys can now concentrate on, maybe more of their job duties, and he can, running back and running game can now be handled by Jeff Blasco as it was expected. So we'll see how that turns out. McCarthy, again, guys, we're going to be another possible historic game for the Cowboys. It will tie the all-time home record win streak if the Cowboys win. We're at 10 right now. If we win one more at home, which would be the Rams, we tie in I think the best ever, which was 1992-93 season, was it? When we won the Super Bowl. That season, we had a 10-game winning streak at home. So, I'm sorry, an 11-game winning streak at home. So, McCarthy, was asked about this 10 straight games at home right now, and he said, quote, number one, it starts with the fans. So, guys, we're going to be there, part of the fans, yelling and screaming.
He also is obviously implying, please continue to travel as well as...
It's not traveling. It's not about traveling. He's implying that...
Okay.
Go ahead. Because we're talking about the home games, and that's what the streak is about. The 10 games, he said, it's about the fans, because the fans are loud at home. That's what he's talking. He's not talking about the road. He's talking about the home fans. When we're at home, we're winning 10 games because the fans are actually being louder than they have been in the past. We're going to be loud, so... he's referring to us as being even the Cowboy fans.
Pre-McCarthy, our
fan base
home record was relatively average, sometimes slightly above average, sometimes below average.
And I'm sure it's still like this when I talk about some of the fans out there are kind of like clap for.
But overall, now with McCarthy, it has been, on the more positive side of things, at least. Well,
again, it's great to see that at home the Cowboys actually have home field advantage nowadays. It used to be, it was like 50-50 anyways at home. And with those curtains open and light, and again, the curtain's going to be open, so it's going to be light in the players' eyes in this game, unfortunately. That's always been an issue with me of why we're making this harder for ourselves at our home stadium, because Jerry Jones will want to pull the curtains on his lovely big, arena. So anyways, look, McCarthy said this, it starts with the fans. He says also, McCarthy said this, the Cowboys changed their home preparation. The way they do things. He said, quote, I do believe the preparation and the flow helps you, and I feel like we've synced. So I'm hoping that's whatever the Cowboys have synced together, the flow of the game at home. Sounds like it's the fans. It's the way they change up some stuff, some preparation stuff at home. Maybe it's helping us win more consistently at our home stadium. Now, about the Rams, to finish up what he said today, he was asked about the Rams. He said this, quote, I understand the Rams' record is 3-4, but they're in every single game. Well, he's implying that, hey, just because they lost 4 games, they were still in those games, and it's true. You got to watch for that. It is not something to to kind of overlook there. No matter what the Rams' record is, they can beat anyone in this league if they're up to it. And they give a little trouble to San Francisco when they played earlier in the season. So, anyways, as practice went into full effect there, Cowboy players went into practice, and the music playlist. How about we talk about that real quick? Nipsey Hussle, they had Victory Lap playing. Quavo, Us versus Them, Meek Mill, Blue Notes 2, Little Baby and Future, Out the Mud. Those are those songs playing at the facility today. And there were also 4 new faces and new numbers. Okay. The 4 guys we signed yesterday to the practice squad.
That's right.
So linebacker Buddy Johnson, number 57. Guard Chris Glazer, number 65. Guard Adam Pankey, number 68. And tight end Eric Saubert, who, again, may get 82. I doubt it. 47. Probably the worst number of all there. So, anyways, look, those guys were on the field in the practice session today in front of the media. Now, the other part about this, guys, is that only 2 players were working on a sideline in the rehab with the rehab coaches. And it was C.J. Goodwin, who has that shoulder issue, on IR, and tight end Peyton Hendershot, who's also got what was the injury for him? I forgot his injury, but I think it was an ankle or something like that. Hendershot and Goodwin, both on the IR. So the fact that they're on the sidelines, that's actually expected. It's expected for them to be on the sideline and not participating with the team because they are still going to be injured after this week and after this week and after the next week. They're going to be out for 4 weeks and more. So the guys that were in practice today, the only people that were out of practice were guys that are not on our 53 currently, which is great news, guys. Everyone else was practicing. Cowboys have a healthy roster heading into the Sunday home game against the Rams. Isn't it great, baby? We're going to a game where our team, offensive, defensive, especially our entire roster, is the healthiest it's been maybe even before the beginning of the fucking season, believe it or not. I mean, I know we lost some guys right now that are out. We lost some starters. But of the guys we have, it's the healthiest we've been all year.
Yeah, the injuries that we have taken, unfortunately, those absolutely still hurt. But yes, it is nice to be heading into this part of the season. Like I said, after the bye week, healthy, feeling good. Love to see it.
Yeah. So, when you look at the actual injury report that came out today, one player is on our injury report today. One guy. He has, and it is the guy I mentioned that Mike McCarthy spoke about earlier, which was Wanye Thomas. Guys, Wanye Thomas on the injury report. What's his deal? Got the hamstring. What was his participation? Full practice. The only guy on our injury list, and he had a full practice. He's not injured.
That's a good spot to be in.
That's it. That's the briefest, smallest injury report I think we've had in like 3 years. I'm not joking. In like 3 years, we never had such a small injury. I mean, shit, he's going to be on the injury report the whole week. And it should say full, and no designation. So this bye week really helped. The final injury report, we might have nobody out for this game. Knock on wood. Tomorrow's one more big practice, and then Friday's kind of the walkthrough, and then we get another walkthrough on Saturday. So when you look at the Cowboys injury report compared to the one after the Niners for the Charger game, we had like 30 people on there. Now we have one, and he's ready full go. This is I think some people say, I think Patrick Walker said this is the cleanest injury report we've had that we filed with the league in about more than a decade. More than 10 years. So this is crazy. It's unheard.
Kind of crazy to wrap your head around.
It is really unheard in midway through a season. You know what I'm saying? It's really an unheard thing when you have this many banged up situations. Now, we got to hope it stays this way. Got to hope practice continues to stay this way. And in games, we keep getting out of these games with some, surviving it. So, again, we'll talk about again, the great thing is I want to talk about injuries, guys. Wanye Thomas, full practice, full go. And that wraps up the practice day, I guess you could say. We have to discuss some of the I think a quick quote or two from somebody. But before there, any quick couple of comments from the chat.
Let me see. Tyron Church saying that's what happens when you go 12-5 back-to-back seasons. So, Mikey High Night saying, did a junior high school pick those musical acts?
Sounds like it, right? It sounds like a bunch of kids listening to music of the day.
Look, not to our taste, all right? But that's not surprising, honestly. I don't think I vibe with most of the music that most Cowboy players probably like and stuff like that. Rick Strassner, oh, thank you. Yeah, we actually, I don't know if we'll have time to visit Six Flags. We're only there for a very short amount of time.
Not hitting the Six Flags thing, but we've been to Six Flags on other Six Flags locations.
Oh, exactly.
We have our amusement park. It's called the Cowboys, and a lot of rides that were going on.
Yeah, and also, since we're here in Florida, so theme parks are...
Yeah, it's not a big deal for us.
Pretty much all over the place. You can't trip without falling into one.
Now,
so,
yeah, go ahead.
No, just back to you, baby.
Yeah, no, it's going to keep rolling through this, guys. We'll be done quickly. Don't worry. When it comes to the upcoming schedule, of course, we got the Rams coming up, but the Eagles are after that. I'm not trying to jump it here, but I'm going to say this. About a week and a half to go before that Eagle game, and the early odds right now have the Cowboys as 3-point underdogs at the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 9. So just a little look around, the peek around the corner there, in case you're wondering. But our game, the only thing that matters, especially to us, is Week 8 against the Rams. We're going to be there, full effect, and let's get kind of rolling that direction with a quick little side note from Micah Parsons. He spoke today. I will say this about Micah, and let me throw him up on the screen for you guys. Micah Parsons, currently, according to I think Fox Sports, the way they have it set up, when it comes to the Defensive Player of the Year, the odds, right now they have TJ Watt at 230 to 1 odds, and Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons at a 220 to 1 odds. So Micah and Myles Garrett currently are tied for these odds to get the Defensive Player of the Year, while TJ Watt's are right behind them. So basically what I'm saying, it's another 3-man race, and this is as tight as it can get. So these guys are fighting it out. Micah's in the mix. I want to know what Micah had to say, though, today after practice. Again, we know that we know he's always ready. He's beaten double, triple teams and all that stuff. I mean, we've seen some of Micah's best, just if you look at last year's best, he's even better this year, it seems like. So, baby, let's hear what Micah spoke on today for our Dallas Cowboys as he prepares to match up and face these LA Rams.
So, first he had this to say as far as what he's been doing during this nice little off-week, bye-week he has. Quote, "The bye week is always good. Mike usually gives us more time than most places because he knows how much the season wears on you. I thought the bye week was good, productive, and fun." He also threw in there, I was here in Dallas for a little bit. Went back to Harrisburg to watch my son play some football, and that's always good. So,
you see what he was doing on his off time a little bit.
He also said that, kind of going on a run, staying healthy, all that good stuff, it all ties into what's next. Quote, "It's extremely important, especially now that we're heading into November. This is when it really starts to pick up. The heat of the schedule, the strength of the schedule. It's important that we rally and really come together and face the injuries and adversities that we faced early on." So,
agree. You got to keep going, but that's what you talk a little less on his podcast.
So, Micah also threw out there that he actually spoke with Trayvon after he had his surgery, saying, he FaceTimed me, and he was like, "Oh, I just got my surgery." I said, "Are you good? Do you need anything?" I know his mom and everything is there, but he was like, "No, I'm good." I'm still going to go over there and play the game with him. I play the game with him too much. You see, he's on with Dez now and everything. He's picked up some new hobbies. He still sucks at the game, so I'd be trying to give him a couple tips and things like that. So,
when he's talking about the game, what is he? Which game again?
He didn't mention the game, but I'm guessing he means he didn't mention the video game.
Oh, okay, like Madden?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know it was a video game. That's why I was checking. I was trying to figure out what he was talking about. Okay, so again, he's keeping Trayvon Diggs' spirits high, and getting in his competitive mode, even with a freshly recovering Trayvon Diggs after surgery. So Mike is always the most competitive person in the room.
And one of the reasons that Micah, likes to compete, he can't really keep his mouth shut, can he? He feels like he has to say something. Some of the media stuff that always gets put out there, right? He added in there that I'm the face. I'm giving them their content. They're basically stealing my content. They're wrong. They're doing exactly what I say they're going to do. Whether we win or lose, they're going to have something to say. And people think I'm shying from criticism. No. Criticism is not the problem. Just criticize everyone with the same energy. They're just as big a bully as these other guys. people decide who they want to give breaks to. I wasn't raised like that. I treat everybody the same. And that whole deciding who to give breaks to, that's directly a shot at, who's that? What's that lady's name again?
Joy Taylor? Or
I think it was Joy Taylor. Remember? Because she said about Jalen Hurts. She's like, oh, I give him a pass.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
So, he also threw in there, who are we to talk about people like that? That's one thing that I really feel strongly about, is that these guys come and do that. But you wouldn't like it if someone came and talked to you like that. So,
I mean, they're in the limelight. Micah, I don't agree with him as much on that one. I mean, they're wrong, they're dumb, they get paid to do that, though. Micah doesn't get paid to talk, he gets paid to talk on the field, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a little bit not as agreeing there with Micah. Anyways.
No, I can understand that part, but, Micah feels like it's basically his job, his duty to do this, saying, I always want to use my platform for good, because at the end of the day, this game goes way far beyond than just that. It's about the kids that are 5, 10, 15 years old, that look up to us and are watching us. How I handle myself is how those guys are going to handle themselves. So if I'm out here showing myself and they think it's okay, then that's what they're going to do. So, and that was pretty much it from
Micah's words
Micah today. But yeah, I think pretty important stuff there.
Yeah, you're seeing on Micah here on this video from the week 1 game, how he's affecting everybody, on the offensive line and be able to get our defensive guys attacking. How often the defenses in the NFL do stunts on passing plays. You see it here once in a while happening in some of these plays versus the overall pressure rate. When you add these two things up, which is how you determine, generating pressure with stunts, which is when you got guys crossing as part of pass rush. At times you see them switching spots. That is, switching gaps or whatever you want to call it, right? Let me see if this is one of those. No, this is a straight up one here. But you're seeing occasionally, like here, Micah up in the middle, switching to that side. You see the other switch there at 55 LVE. That's a stunt play right there. And by doing that, how much pressure do you get? How much pressure do you generate when you do this? Every year, guys, since this chart has been invented and Dan Quinn and Micah Parsons were together 2 years ago, came together, we've been at the top of the chart against every team, no matter what. Pretty much at the whole time. Top of the chart. We get over 50%, almost 50% pressure. And we do the stunt rate about 39% of the time. The most in the NFL, by the way, for both of those. Number 1 in the NFL for both of them. The more stunts we do, the more pressure we get. That's a consistent thing, not just this year. Well, year after year after year with Dan Quinn and Micah Parsons together. And, we talk about defense because yesterday we talked about defense a lot more. But you see this kind of pressure. When you see this kind of pressure, what it does overall to a defense, it really improves the secondary. What do I mean? Well, Deron Bland is 1 interception away, baby, from the Cowboy franchise record. Technically, we could see another franchise record if he gets 7 interceptions. He'll be. I think he'll be at I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. A pick 6 away. He's 1 pick 6 away from the franchise record. If we get Deron Bland with an interception for a touchdown, baby, we just saw another historic thing for our Cowboys, for our own franchise record. Now, Deron Bland has the lowest passer rating allowed among all cornerbacks entering Week 8. The lowest. Remember, he wasn't Trayvon Diggs had the lowest, and he was like at 8. Like he was allowing it on 8% of the time. 8 quarterback rating was what he was. What the rating against Trayvon Diggs was when a quarterback attacked him. Number 1 in the NFL is Deron Bland. He would have been number 2 if Trayvon Diggs was there. Deron Bland. Quarterback passer ratings are at 22.3 when a quarterback attacks Deron Bland. Number 1 in the NFL. Number 2, Jalen Johnson. Remember I talked about him yesterday from the Bears? There's a reason why I said bring him in here. The analytics. Again, 24.7 for him, just right there with Deron Bland. Ahkello Witherspoon, who, by the way, plays for the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, he has he had a bad game against the Steelers, but he's got about 36, allows a 36 passer rating, 3rd best. Mike Hilton, 43.9, Martin Emerson, 48.1, and number 6, Stephon Gilmore, 52.9. If, of course, Trayvon Diggs was on our team, we'd have 3 guys out of the top 7 when it comes to quarterback ratings when targeting a defensive player. So this defense brings out the better pass rushing. And what do the Rams do? As we're talking about the Rams here, I'm going to get a little more about the Rams, but we're finishing with the defense offense. That was from yesterday, the trickle-throughs here. But the yards per route run from the Rams wide receivers when it comes to rankings versus zone, Cooper Kupp, he's 4th best in the NFL when it comes to zone defense. Puka Nacua, 5th in the NFL. So 4th and 5th in the NFL when they're in zone. How about in man? The Cowboys play man coverage at the highest rate in the entire league. So zone doesn't really affect us as much. Cooper Kupp is 59th in the NFL. And Nacua is 30th in the NFL when they're getting played in a man situation. We do that more than anybody else in the NFL. So you got the pass rush, the pressure. I just told you about DaRon Bland. He gave him a pick 6, but he's out there number 1 in coverage when it comes to quarterback rating. And then when you look at this specific matchup against the Rams, against the zone, they dominate. Cooper Kupp, Nacua, they dominate their defenses that they play against. But against man, they have major trouble. Hint, hint, guys, I'm going to be watching the Cowboy defense with Dan Quinn and this pressure we got from the front to have to bring, not just the pressure, but have to play a lot of man this game. Because the Rams are not successful at their best receivers. They're not successful. Top 30, top 59th. That's not that good. Winning man coverage. So that's a key. We're going to probably talk about a little more later on this week in our kind of, walking around live streams. So, again, guys, when you look at the Rams and what are they doing, I like to talk about the defensive side of things, our defense versus their offense. But now we have to talk about their special teams for a moment. You know, the Rams worked out today. Again, they signed a kicker yesterday, Havrasik. But you know who the Rams worked out today? A bunch of kickers. Former Packer mainstay, Mason Crosby. A guy we talked about a lot about here. We forgot about him because we got Brandon Aubrey's knocking them all through. But Mason Crosby, his entire 16-year career at this point was spent in Green Bay, most of those under McCarthy. First time, kicking for another team is a possibility. He was worked out today, but nobody signed him. The Rams did not sign him. They still kept Lucas Havrasik, currently, who was on the Browns practice squad, is now on the Rams practice squad, their only kicker. So they love his upside, the Rams, all right? And, again, it sounds like he is also going to be guaranteed, because when you're picked up off a practice squad, or you are guaranteed 3 active roster game checks, 3 guaranteed ones. So no matter what, they can put him in the practice squad. He has to play for 3 straight games. And they're still exploring the options with Crosby, but they didn't sign him today. So that tells me they're probably going to stick with Havrasik going forward. Now, still, if he does sign this week, if Mason Crosby signs tomorrow or the next day, he will be able to kick against Mike McCarthy, his former coach, in Dallas, which, by the way, he's made a couple significant field goals. I mean, he knocked us out of the fucking playoffs in 2016 in that game. We watched, that was pre-MCF, but that was a heartbreak there. We were number 1 seed with Dak's rookie year, and Mason Crosby kicked us the fuck out. So I was with McCarthy. Now he may go against McCarthy, but again, have not heard of him signing yet. We'll see what happens. As far as transactions were made today, there was one. Today they delivered Jordan John McVay. You know that player? Jordan John McVay?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Rams head coach Sean McVay and wife Veronica celebrated the birth of their son, Jordan.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Rams listed it on their official site as delivered. Cute. The transaction was delivered Jordan John McVay. They had this is, I think, their 3rd child, but he was born yesterday, Jordan. McVay was asked, what is it like when you look in your son's eyes? He said, quote, "You look more like your dad than your mom, and I feel bad about that." That was McVay. Now, new dad McVay said he's back at work with the Rams today, and he said, this is important to note, because you look at their injury situation, linebacker Ernest Jones, linebacker Brian Young, these guys will be part of this group of guys on defense we're going to have to see. We're going to talk about it, and we got to take advantage of these guys. These 2 linebackers, along with safety Russell Yeast, will all be limited in practice. They're not looking good for this game. We'll talk about it. But the change doesn't seem to be much as far as McVay said. They may play this game. It may affect them. It may not. We'll see what happens. But when you look at the actual injury report for them today, limited participants, defensive lineman, tackle, Larrell Munchinson with a knee, Ernest Jones with a knee. We knew he was going to be limited. Byron Young with the knee, Russ Yeast with the hip, and receiver Ben Sloranek with an Achilles. Full participant was tight end Hunter Long with a hamstring. And so, that's there. They don't have anyone really too banged up either, I will say. They just had a bunch of limited guys. And you'll hear me talk about some of these guys throughout the week, tonight, about, kind of how they match up with us, what are they missing. But, yeah, you know what? Most of the Rams players that were on the injury report last week are still there now. Like Young and Yeast. Both of these guys are the most notable players on their team, the most important players on their team. The Cowboys, again, we know we only have Wanye Thomas, so we're lucky, knock on wood, for now. But this injury from Yeast, one of their starters there for the Rams, I mean, Yeast is their safety. So they need to keep him in there. I would say, he is a major piece to their team, and he's not even that good, to be honest. But, all right, when he got hurt, he got banged up on that Steeler game. And it was kind of on both sides of the ball. Again, the lack of depth in the secondary adds the issue to this injury to safety Russ Yeast. And in the first quarter of the Sunday game against the Steelers, Yeast got blindside blocked by the Steelers wide receiver George Pickens, was slow to get up after the play, suffering a hip injury. And that's something to watch. He's their starting safety. He eventually went to the medical tent. He emerged wearing a hip apparatus that Matthew Stafford used after his injury against the Colts a couple of weeks ago. And again, guys, he is questionable. Currently questionable. He's limited in practice, which is the biggest thing. So we'll see how that goes with them. One last note, maybe before we kind of get into the long run here and the final breakdowns of things. The Cowboys have drawn the number one reporting crew once again, this time for Fox, in this week's game against the Rams. This is the sixth time in 7 games this year. I think the Cardinals was the only game that we getting the number one guy, the number one team, reporting team, the number one crew, the color commentator, the on the field people. This is the 6th out of 7 games Cowboys have played the number one kind of reporting crew. NBC week 1, CBS week 2, Fox week 4, NBC week 5, ESPN week 6, and Fox again week 8. There you go, guys. Cowboys, America's team. So after a long month away, again, guys, we haven't played at home for a month. After a month away from AT&T, we'll be meeting the Cowboys there. Cowboys are now back home. 10 straight wins on the horizon here, right? Dating back to 2022. This is currently also the longest active home winning streak in the NFL. Not just for the Cowboys can match our number one time. No team in the NFL has won as many games at home than the Dallas Cowboys. Active streaks. So this is a healthy roster. Returning to today they returned to the practice field. We know about the injury, but the Cowboys looking good. Knock on wood. And a little side note, baby. Mike McCarthy is 11 wins, 5 losses for his career in a game following a bye. In the first game back after a bye. And at home, 4-1 in his career when the game is at home. So good news for McCarthy when it comes to the ability for this team to rebound from a bye week. Then we lost that one against the Titans that one year when we got Amari Cooper. After that, it's been pretty good, I think, if I recall. All right, anyways. Just looking at this thing, guys, only a couple quick little notes here. And let me put up the actual, the actual info here for you guys. The Rams defense against our offense. I mean, we all know this guy in the middle, but who are the other guys that are important to keep an eye on when it comes to the Rams and how they match up to us? We'll talk about matchups later in the week. But let's look at Aaron Donald, number 99. He's in the 99 club of Madden. He's one of the best players in history at that position. He had 5 pressures, but did not get a sack last week against the Steelers. So again, my point is he's a dominant player. Guys, I hope the Cowboys can hold him back from wrecking our offensive game plan. He's always a danger out there, but we're going to have to, when he's up against Zach Martin, Biotish got to pull his weight. When he's up against Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith or Biotish got to pull their weight, right? Wherever he's at, Tyron Steele better wake up, if he goes up against someone like Aaron Donald at times. So Aaron Donald can wreck your entire team. He can wreck the run game and the pass game with Aaron Donald, number 99. So he was constantly disrupting the Steelers' offense. Was the last victim there. He split a lot of double teams, got in the backfield this year a lot. Now, who else is on this team? when it comes to the interior defensive pass rush, the stoppers inside. They run a 3-4 defense. So they got this guy named Kobe Turner as a nose tackle, number 91. Kobe Turner, guys, had only one pressure. All right? So he's only a run-stopping kind of Hankins guy. Hankins is much better than this Kobe Turner, who's a rookie. And then they have Jonah Williams, number 92, who's the other end on the other side of Aaron Donald. And Jonah Williams, guys, struggled stopping the run. So let me add this in here, guys. When you see Jonah Williams, number 92 on the field, probably more between Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith, Jonah Williams needs to be kind of run at, number 92. So keep that in mind when you see 92 on the field. If we run, we should run that way. The defensive line as a whole has played better, this season. Last week had a really bad game. Aaron Donald's still doing great, not enough to save this defensive line. If they're off a little bit, then we can control them, even with Aaron Donald. Keep that in mind. Michael Hotch, all right? And I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. This is how things are looking for the Rams, but that's their left outside linebacker, number 97, who, again, in a 3-4 defense, these outside linebackers are used to rush, at times as their fourth and sometimes and also a fifth edge rusher at times, right, on the outside. The two other guys become edge rushers. So guys like Michael Hetch, I don't know how to say his name there, and guys like Brian Young, a rookie, number 0, I think he's number 0. These guys are going to be instrumental in kind of creating pass rush as well. Michael Hotch is he just has a half sack. He has a 0.5 sack in 6 games. All right? Until this game against the Steelers, Week 7, he did have 2 sacks, so he kind of woke up. He has 2.5 sacks for the season. Michael Hotch, a guy who got he's going to try to provide pass rush, number 97. But it was one of his best games he's had in a while. So I don't expect to see him reproducing that again against us. And by the way, he didn't have anything else, really. His 2 pressures were the 2 sacks. So he got 2 pressures, but they were the same things. They turned into sacks. So, again, if our offensive line came to play, he should be slowed down. Byron Young, who's a rookie, had 0 sacks against the Steelers, and he only had 3 pressures. Again, decent in pressures, but not a combination of a 4-5-man defensive front stops the run and gets the pass rush. There's not much there with them, other than Aaron Donald, of course. Now, going back a little farther, and you go to the interior linebackers, the inside linebackers, you got Christian Rosenblum and Ernest Jones the 4th. Or the 3rd, the 4th. He's number 53. Rosenblum is 56. Christian Rosenblum, guys, had 5 tackles, broke up a pass against the Steelers, in his last game, and it was almost intercepted. If he was better, probably would have been picked, right? So I think these guys inside, they're relative. We're going to check into them a little more, but their biggest weakness, Ernest Jones, his playing time actually was less than usual last week against the Steelers. He has a knee injury, he's a little banged up. So again, he only had 4 tackles. Let me just explain one thing about these linebackers. They might be solid run stoppers, but if you run towards the left side a little bit, you run at these linebackers, you can get a good 4 or 5 yards every time on the pop. Now, the other big thing I'm going to say about the linebackers and our matchups with Ferguson, I'm going to expect something from him this game. Why? Because these Rams linebackers, and by the way, in case you're wondering who 53 is, that's Ernest Jones. They're probably their best guy inside. He had a lot less time than usual last week. We'll see what happens this week if he's better, not so banged up. But the key for him is that this guy, Rosenblum and Ernest Jones, do not do well covering tight ends. So Ferguson, Schoonmaker, we got to see something from these guys this week. And utilize them, McCarthy, utilize them in your game plan. Scheme to win. Don't just scheme to scheme. So when you look at this, guys, and you see the defensive backfield for the Rams, and you're looking at their front 7, there you go. Nothing too impressive outside of the man, number 99. He's obviously dominant. But Ahkello Witherspoon, who's their cornerback, it's one of the better coverage guys, but had a bad game against the Steelers. Darion Kendrick, and their best cornerback right there, number 14, Kobe Durant. All right, Kobe Durant, by the way, he plays in the nickel cornerback spot. He's going to be playing a lot against CeeDee Lamb. So number 14 is going to be a guy to watch in the slot. He's going to be definitely playing trying to play at a high level there. He's going to need to against CeeDee Lamb in the slot. So when you look at these three guys, their cornerbacks, they had a bad day against, again, a Steelers offense that I don't see is that destructive, on their offense. They allowed 11 receptions on 14 targets against them, these three corners, which gained 190 yards for Kenny Pickett, the quarterback. 190 yards of his 230 passing yards all came against these cornerbacks. So keep that in mind, guys. Number 14 will be in the slot. Another time you force CeeDee Lamb to get the ball by making sure when you see 14 covering CeeDee Lamb, you attack number 14 with CeeDee Lamb. That's Dak Prescott. That's Mike McCarthy. That's a key in this game. So, again, when you saw, Pickett over there as the quarterback for the Steelers last week, he kept attacking the cornerbacks. That's the game plan they had for him. And they attacked the cornerbacks, and they obviously won that battle. They consistently found open receivers against, versus cornerbacks, whether it was on crossers or back shoulder throws that made, kind of have to stop to get it. And, penalties were also involved in this. And you go back to the safety spots for the Steelers. Russ Yeast, of course, is banged up, a notable guy there. He's going to be a guy you got to keep watching because he's a starter. Jordan Fuller, who I thought was better than what I'm reading up on him, guys. Both these guys last week played okay. They both only missed a combination of one tackle. And, Yeast is hurt. He's the guy that missed it. But Fuller had a tackle for a loss. A little help there with the running lanes. You'll see safety Jordan Fuller come down and play some help there. But I think that, both these guys are mid safeties. And again, with Russ Yeast now questionable here, looking like he's going to be, having maybe some issues getting on that field, something to keep watching. Their secondary is not playing well, and it could be even more depleted. If you're the Cowboys, you attack that shit. Now, finishing up here, baby. CeeDee Lamb, again, like I said, has a chance to break a record there for the Cowboy team franchise record if he gets 6 catches. All right? But why do I keep saying this? And I'm talking about the defensive backfield. When I look at Kobe Durant, their best cover guy, the guy in the nickel, going against CeeDee Lamb is going to face the 17th passing defense in the NFL. They're technically average. They're average at best. Let's be real about it. Last week, the Rams allowed 107 yards from George Pickens and 79 from Deontay Johnson. All this, again, guys, against this pass defense of the Rams. Their pass defense is not that good. Pass rush ain't great unless Aaron Donald's involved. And the coverage is below average when it comes to cornerback specific. So, when you look at the overall rankings, even the rankings of this defense, I know they're in the 20s, whatever it may be, but listen to this. When it comes to the analytics of PFF, and really the way they looked at this team going forward into the season, Pro Football Focus, PFF, had the Rams defense 32nd in the NFL. Even with Aaron Donald, 32nd in the NFL for this Rams defense, it's insane.
Yeah, they've definitely fallen quite a bit. Defensive
coordinator Raheem Morris ranked at 7th as a defensive coordinator, but dead last as a defense and the players' abilities. You know what they were ranked at the worst? Secondary was dead last. And linebacker, they were also dead last. So right now, guys, if we get to the second level, we're going to run on them. If we throw the ball to tight ends, we're going to be successful. And if we attack the secondary, especially CeeDee Lamb, we should be even more successful. You guys feel what I'm trying to say here? I know we want to run, and I know we should run. We should run in certain directions. We run at certain players. We run at Jonah Williams, number 92. That's productive. But you want to attack this team and beat them where they really counts, throw to the tight ends and attack the linebackers. Throw the receivers and attack the corners. It can be safe. It can be a little more aggressive than McCarthy's used to. Fine. Attack these guys. It will be a recipe for victory for the Cowboys, in my opinion. So, again, guys, even Aaron Donald could not get the defensive line in these rankings above 22nd. That's what Aaron Donald. So they have, outside of Aaron Donald, they have a poor cast of characters around this defense. Now, again, their rankings have improved since then. They're not 32nd anymore, but they're still not anything above 20 on defense. And I believe their run defense is decent. Their pass defense sucks. We got to attack them in the air. Dak Prescott, here's your chance. And you know, one last little jewel I found here when it comes to the overall offense versus the overall defense. In the last 3 games, the Cowboys have converted third downs, which is very important. Converted third downs 43.6% of the time. That is the 8th best in the NFL. At the same rate, the same time frame, the last 3 games, the Rams have allowed opponents to convert third downs 50% of the time. That is 3rd worst in the NFL. That means third downs, we should dominate this team. I want to see it happen. That's all. That's all I got to say about this defense and our offense against them. We talked about our own team already. We finished it with the Rams, and we kind of say goodnight here on My Cowboys Family. I do want to give a big shout out, first and foremost, to the man, the lunatic, for making this thing happen here. A double jersey raffle. 2 lucky winners, sewn and stitched jerseys, authentic like the whole 9 yards. You get to choose the player. We're not going to give you the jersey. You're going to choose the jersey you want.
Yep. The player, the style, the size, that's up to you.
Yep.
As long as we have it, it's yours.
How do they win it?
You drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered. Let's say you want to enter again, bam. Every additional $10 is an additional bonus.
Yeah, you can stack 20 entries if you wanted to. And you also currently have the membership side of things, which if you're in a navy blue, silver, star, or over everything, you get a bonus entry on top of your earned entries, right? So much love to the lunatic. Can't do this without you. And go Cowboys. And by the way, the king of the Cash App is the same as the sponsor of the week, SnugX, repping it for 11 straight weeks. Will he get it for 3 straight months? He's, we'll see what happens.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, will he go back to back as a sponsor week? We shall see. But we do know, currently in the Cash App, Jason Renfro's in the lead there. He's also our gifting champion. Much love to Jason Renfro. He's also got 21 points on the Stream Boss. So much love to him there. And when it comes to the gifting champion, that's Jason Renfro. When it comes to the gifting leader, it is the man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan. When it comes to the overall leader currently, it's Amazing Games. Appreciate you, bro. He is currently coming for that sponsor of the week. I think I did my shout-outs, baby. Let's hear your shout-outs tonight.
We have Deuce Trey, Asmodeus Much Love, Dirty South MVP, Rolando Rodriguez in the house, Mikey High Night, what's up, Tyrone Church, much love, Bruce got the toxic juice, Roy Strassner representing, Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett, Gerald Chavez, Rolando Rodriguez in the house, of course Thomas Garrett. Let me see, we have Asmodeus representing, much love, Rolando Rodriguez, of course Calvin Richards, Bad Intentions, Cactus G, Hector Colon. Let me see, that's as far back as it lets me go, at least on my side.
Let me also shout out just 2 quick people here. Jason Renfro dropped a couple drops there in the Cash App, and Calvin Richard, who dropped the 5 on it tonight. Appreciate you guys dropping a little love here on an hour and a half stream as we're in and out. Again, it's going to change here from now on for the rest of this week.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. You had your chances now to ask your questions. We're going to be doing our thing here in Dallas, getting ready for this game, and we're going to enjoy it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it with us when we do go live, and we can bring you some more info and news and updates and discussions and all that good stuff. We're going to be enjoying Big D. We're going to be enjoying our Cowboy game and everything Cowboy related, including some great Mexican food. I can't wait. So, baby, I know we got to do those quick shout-outs, so let's do that and get it done.
I did the shout-outs.
Oh, you did do the shout-out. You did do the shout-out. That's right. So let me ask you a simple question, baby. Why do we do this here every night here at My Cowboys Family?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. And never forget what? I mean,
never forget. You forgot. It's, again, not just that, baby, but it's also when we hear, we rep no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. We always rep that star over everything. And on My Cowboys Family for 6 years and beyond, never forget here on YouTube, number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. That was a lame one. Let's do it one more time. Never forget, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond, even though right now we're trying to get our 5th win of the year. Repping that star over everything. Here's what we do, guys. Appreciate you all dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. The love from above. Appreciate you guys. It is time, though, officially, to clock out for the night. Relock and reload for the next 4 days. We'll be on the road in Dallas. You'll be checking in with us throughout the time we're there. Can't wait for this game. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun, and we got to win. We'll get a little more matchups here and there, a little more discussions throughout the week, here and there, splattered around. But baby, we're on the road tomorrow. We're in Dallas tomorrow, and before we can clock out and drop out of here officially and relock and reload for this great weekend, tell everybody what we got to do before we drop out of here.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. The last kind of regular looking MCF stream you're going to have here in a couple of days here. So, again, thank you all. We, of course, keep tallying on the Lunatic double jersey raffle. Let's get this victory against these Rams. Hopefully next time we're sitting at our home doing one of these streams, we will be 5-2. And on that road to keep going where we need to go. And keep doing what we need to do to get to the ultimate goal. That's 6 and beyond. Here, another Cowboys chat wrapped up for the family. We're going to be wearing that, like I said, that navy blue this week at home. They're going to be in their whites. And we got to ram the Rams. That's the goal this week. So let's see what happens. Guys, thank you for joining us here for another discussion about our Cowboys. And here in MCF, you know the deal. It's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever, ever forget the number one thing here in My Cowboys family. Much love to all you guys in the house. Hitting that like, hitting subscribe, hitting that notification bell, and, of course, staying safe. Stay safe, family. Appreciate you all. We'll see you back in Dallas next time we speak. Peace out, family. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.